The disappearance of Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370 about to be solved.
The Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
The Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, carrying 239 people, including 4 Americans, disappeared in one of the most perplexing aviation mysteries ever. The sudden vanishing of Flight MH370 left the world stunned and desperate for answers. For years, investigators have scoured the ocean depths and examined every clue, eager to solve the mystery. But what if the truth lies within new discoveries and advanced theories? Today, we delve into fascinating new insights and theories that may finally illuminate the dark secrets surrounding the MH370 tragedy. This ill-fated flight, known as MH370, was a scheduled international passenger service operated by Malaysia Airlines. Its destination was Beijing, the bustling capital of China. Among the passengers were 227 individuals from 14 different countries and 12 Malaysian crew members, a diverse group embarking on journeys to familiar homes or new adventures across vast oceans and lands. On March 8, 2014, MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, located in Malaysia's bustling capital, right at midnight. This routine flight was expected to cover approximately 5,570 kilometers in about 5 hours and 34 minutes, heading to Beijing. However, this journey quickly captured global attention. Piloted by Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah and First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, the advanced Boeing 777-200ER, renowned for its safety and cutting-edge technology, ascended smoothly into the night sky. Passengers settled in as the flight progressed normally, but then, unexpectedly, MH370 vanished from radar during its scheduled journey, creating one of aviation's greatest mysteries. In the cockpit, Captain Zahari and First Officer Farik, both experienced professionals, were in charge of the passenger safety. At around 1:01 Malaysian Standard Time, the aircraft, cruising at 35,000 feet, sent its routine half-hourly data report via the Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, indicating everything was normal. The last ACARS message was sent at 1:07 a.m., showing all systems functioning properly. However, the expected update at 1:37 a.m. never came, leaving the world baffled. The most chilling moment occurred around 1:19 a.m. as the aircraft was about to enter Vietnamese airspace. The cockpit communicated with the Kuala Lumpur air traffic controller saying, "Good night, Malaysia 370. This routine phrase signaled the handover from one control center to another, but this time, the expected communication from the new center never came. Recently, scientists have made some startling new discoveries and developed theories about the ill-fated Flight 370. These revelations are set to significantly change our understanding of the disaster, offering profound insights into what transpired. Number 15. Mysterious calls and signals. In the intriguing case of MH370, after the plane disappeared from radar, it surprisingly managed to intermittently communicate with a stationary satellite over the Indian Ocean for 6 hours. This satellite, operated by Inmarsat, a London-based company, provided crucial data that has puzzled investigators and spurred new theories about the plane's fate. This intriguing communication suggests that the plane did not experience a sudden catastrophic event. Instead, it appears to have continued flying at high speed and altitude during those 6 hours. This was possible because certain communication systems on board, such as passenger equipment, cockpit technology, and automated maintenance reports, had been deliberately switched off or disconnected. The interaction with the Inmarsat satellite resembled faint whispers of communication consisting of brief electronic signals. There were a total of 7 connections. 2 were automatically initiated by the plane and 5 were initiated by the Inmarsat ground station. Additionally, 2 satellite phone calls were made, but there was no response. However, these calls provided more details about the situation. Most of these communications were linked to two specific values that Hammer, presumably a person or system, had recently started recording. Number 14. Radar information. Radar data from air traffic control computers, along with confidential information from the Malaysian Air Force, revealed that after MH370 disappeared from civilian radar, it made a sudden turn to the southwest. It then altered its course back over the Malay Peninsula, circling around Penang Island. From there, the plane flew northwest, passing over the Malacca Strait, eventually disappearing from radar coverage over the Andaman Sea. This portion of the flight lasted more than an hour, suggesting that this incident was unlike typical hijackings or any known accidents or pilot suicide scenarios. The investigation into MH370 led authorities down unexpected and unfamiliar paths right from the start. The mystery surrounding MH370 has been under investigation for a long time, with people worldwide intensely speculating about its fate. Families around the globe were deeply affected by the loss. The idea that a highly advanced aircraft, equipped with modern instruments and backup communications, could simply vanish seems improbable. Deleting an email permanently is tough, and completely disconnecting from the modern world is nearly impossible, even with intentional effort. A Boeing 777 is designed to maintain continuous electronic connectivity, so the airplane's disappearance has sparked a variety of theories. Some of these ideas are quite far-fetched, but they attract attention because it's rare for commercial planes to vanish in today's world. Despite quick denials from Malaysian officials and attempts by the Malaysian Air Force to create confusion, the truth about the plane's strange flight path soon began to emerge. Number 13. The astonishing journey towards Antarctica. In a remarkable discovery, technicians in London used Doppler shift logs to pinpoint an airplane's exact location, a groundbreaking achievement by Inmarsat. At 2:40 a.m., the plane, previously believed to be on a straight path, made a surprising turn southwards above Sumatra, the northernmost island of Indonesia. Although there is some uncertainty in the analysis, experts believe the airplane continued its journey towards Antarctica, far beyond its expected range. 6 hours later, the Doppler data revealed a sudden and steep descent, astonishingly rapid, up to 5 times faster than the usual rate. Within a minute or two of crossing the 7th arc, the plane tragically plummeted into the ocean. This rapid descent likely caused the airplane to shed parts before impact. Electronic evidence indicates that this wasn't a planned water landing, but a catastrophic event, with the airplane seemingly shattering into numerous pieces almost instantly. However, at this point, the exact location and cause of the impact remained unknown. Satellite interpretations lacked solid physical evidence to support them, leaving the mystery unsolved. Number 12. The Doppler value technical data analysis suggests that the plane likely turned southward. This conclusion is strongly supported by the second recorded value from Inmarsat, referred to as the Doppler value. This value is crucial because it measures how the plane's frequency changes relative to the satellite's position as it moves quickly. It's a routine way for airplanes to communicate with satellites during flights to ensure smooth communication, with onboard systems anticipating and adjusting for these frequency changes. However, these adjustments may not always be entirely precise, as older satellites might not consistently transmit signals exactly as expected by the planes. Additionally, factors like the satellite's orbit tilt and temperature can influence the signals they emit, leaving discernible marks on the data. Number 11. The search for the elusive black boxes. Satellite data revealed something remarkable. The plane likely continued flying for several hours after it went silent. Eventually, Malaysian officials acknowledged the accuracy of this report. Malaysia's government had a reputation for secrecy and untrustworthiness during the investigation of the missing plane, which raised suspicions, particularly considering the corruption allegations surrounding the government in the region. The situation turned chaotic for accident investigators hailing from Europe, Australia, and the United States. They encountered hurdles due to withheld information and initial misguided search efforts in the South China Sea, resulting in the unfortunate outcome of not discovering any floating debris. If the Malaysians had been transparent from the outset, the detection of debris could have aided in identifying the plane's approximate location, potentially leading to the retrieval of its black boxes. The quest for these black boxes eventually led to a remote expanse of the ocean, yet the ocean itself is vast. Finding similar black boxes from a previous crash, like Air France Flight 447, took 2 years. Despite having a clear idea of where to search, it still took nearly 2 months of unsuccessful efforts before focusing on the deeper ocean sections. The surface search officially concluded in April 2014 under Malaysian jurisdiction, but their capabilities were limited for deep-sea search and recovery operations. Fortunately, Australia, known for its responsible global role, took charge. They spearheaded the search in areas pinpointed by satellite data. The extreme depth and uncharted nature of the region posed a unique challenge. Accurate mapping of the underwater terrain was the initial step. Only then could specialized sonar vehicles be safely towed many miles beneath the ocean's surface. Number 10. The mystery of the deliberate flight path. An intriguing detail suggests that this event may not have been a mere accident, but a meticulously planned occurrence. The unconventional route the flight took, coupled with the absence of electronic communication, defies easy explanation through common factors such as technical malfunctions or human error. Traditional explanations, encompassing issues like computer glitches, control system malfunctions, environmental factors such as ice, lightning, or bird strikes, and even extremely rare events like meteorite strikes or encounters with volcanic ash, struggle to rationalize the flight's intricate trajectory. Remarkably, potential mechanical and human-related issues, ranging from sensor malfunctions to radio equipment failures, and from instrument discrepancies to electrical system anomalies, fail to fully elucidate the intentional deviation from the flight's intended course. Even scenarios involving incidents like fire, smoke, sudden cabin pressure loss, cargo area explosions, or pilot incapacitation fail to unveil the complete narrative behind this perplexing occurrence. The absence of prior instances involving confused pilots, medical emergencies, or external threats such as bombs or acts of war adds an additional layer of intrigue to the mystery. Number 9. Exploring conspiracy theories. In Boulder, Colorado, Mike, an electrical engineer and esteemed member of an independent group, diligently examined radar data related to an airplane. He firmly believed that during a turn, the aircraft ascended to an altitude of 40,000 feet, nearing its maximum capacity. Such a maneuver would have subjected passengers to significant G-forces, pressing them firmly into their seats. Mike proposed a theory suggesting that this ascent was intentional, aiming to rapidly depressurize the plane, resulting in the swift incapacitation and unfortunate demise of everyone aboard. His hypothesis implied that this deliberate depressurization might have been a method to preemptively manage any potential disruptive behavior during the lengthy flight. The effects of depressurization would have likely gone unnoticed in the cabin had it not been for the sudden deployment of oxygen masks designed for emergency situations. However, these masks were only effective for a limited time, specifically up to 15 minutes at altitudes below 13,000 feet. At the elevated cruising altitude of 40,000 feet, the cabin occupants would have swiftly lost consciousness without experiencing choking or gasping for air. Deceased passengers would have remained seated, their faces covered by now ineffective oxygen masks hanging from the ceiling, while the scene was dimly illuminated by emergency lights. In contrast, the cockpit was equipped with 4 pressurized oxygen masks capable of supplying oxygen for several hours. If someone deliberately depressurized the plane, they could have easily utilized one of these masks to continue breathing safely. As the plane rapidly streaked across the sky, it appeared as a mysterious blip on the primary radars, hurtling toward Penang Island at almost 600 miles per hour. In the vicinity lay Butterworth Air Base, home to a fleet of Malaysian F-18 fighter jets and an air defense radar. Surprisingly, it seemed that little attention was being paid to the unfolding situation. As Mike delved deeper into his investigation, he couldn't shake the puzzling lack of attention from the air defense radar and fighter jets. The weight of his discoveries and their potential implications for aviation safety burdened his thoughts. Number 8. Sabotage in the sky. Contrary to popular belief, the plane's control was not hijacked remotely. Control was commandeered from within the cockpit, situated beneath the front galley where electrical equipment is stored. This occurred between 1:01 a.m., when the plane reached an altitude of 35,000 feet, and 1:21 a.m., when it vanished from the secondary radar. Throughout this 20-minute window, the plane's automatic condition reporting system transmitted its routine 30-minute update to the airline's maintenance department via satellite. This update included details about fuel levels, altitude, speed, geographical position, and any anomalies, demonstrating the functionality of the airplane's satellite communication system at that time. Given the improbability of two pilots colluding in such a manner, it is likely that by the time the plane disappeared from the secondary radar, one of the pilots was either incapacitated, deceased, or locked out of the cockpit. Both military and civilian aircraft were detected on the primary radar. Further investigation suggested that the pilot of MH370 likely disabled the autopilot, as the precise turn to the southwest was too exact to be executed by automated systems. Additionally, it seems that the individual in control intentionally depressurized the plane and deactivated a significant portion, if not all, of the electrical system around the same time. The motive behind these actions remains unclear, but they inadvertently disrupted the satellite link temporarily. Number 7. When pilots take control. In the intriguing mystery surrounding the disappearance of MH370, another theory revolves around the potential involvement of the captain. Is it plausible that the captain assumed control without resorting to force? While unsettling, this idea is not entirely unprecedented, as similar incidents have occurred in the past. For example, in 1997, the captain of Silk Air, a Singaporean airline, purportedly deactivated crucial recorders on a Boeing 737 before intentionally crashing it into a river at high speeds. Similarly, in 1999, the co-pilot of Egypt Air Flight 990 deliberately crashed the plane into the sea near Long Island, claiming the lives of all on board. Furthermore, just a month prior to the MH370 incident, the captain of Mozambique Airlines Flight 470 tragically crashed his aircraft from a high altitude, resulting in the loss of all passengers and crew. Another chilling example is the German Wings Airbus, which deliberately crashed into the French Alps on March 24, 2015, resulting in the tragic loss of all passengers and crew. In this instance, the co-pilot Andreas Lubitz locked the pilot out of the cockpit while he went to the restroom. Investigations later revealed that Lubitz had been experiencing profound sadness and had previously researched the disappearance of MH370 a year earlier. However, it is difficult to entertain the notion of the co-pilot's involvement in the MH370 incident. He was described as a young and optimistic individual eagerly looking forward to his upcoming marriage. There are no records suggesting any personal conflicts or doubts about his descent into depression. Additionally, he was not a German pilot employed by a struggling low-cost airline with minimal pay and limited prestige. On the contrary, he was piloting the esteemed Boeing 777 in a country where the national airline and its pilots were highly respected. Number 6. Examining Captain Zahari. As concerns grew, Attention turned to Captain Zahari, portrayed in official narratives as a model pilot and a composed family man who enjoyed spending time with flight simulators. While his family presented this image, troubling signs of distress seemed to be overlooked. Law enforcement unearthed aspects of Zahari's life that warranted closer scrutiny, yet subsequent findings proved inconclusive. Evaluations of Zahari's ability to handle work-related stress returned positive results, with no prior evidence of indifference, anxiety, or tension. His routine interactions with others and family dynamics showed no significant changes. There were no behavioral indicators suggesting withdrawal from social engagements, alterations in routines, or shifts in interests. Analysis of Zahari's demeanor on the day of the flight, as well as the 3 flights preceding it, as captured by airport CCTV footage, depicted him as steady, well-groomed, and impeccably dressed. His customary mannerisms, including posture, facial expressions, and gestures, remained consistent. However, the official report appears to be at odds with what was known about Zahari, given the unsettling clues that were seemingly disregarded. His life became enveloped in loneliness and desolation. Following his wife's departure, he found himself plunged into isolation, spending long hours alone as he eagerly awaited the passage of time between flights. He harbored feelings for a married woman with a family, and his fixation extended to 2 young models he encountered online. Despite his attempts to connect with them, his advances went unanswered, and some of his remarks crossed into inappropriate territory. Zahari's life underwent a significant shift, distancing him from the once stable and secure existence he had known. His excessive use of social media may have worsened his isolation, leading experts to consider a diagnosis of clinical depression. An intriguing discovery arose from an examination of his flight simulator, with the FBI noting a flight path resembling that of MH370. Despite its potential significance, Malaysian investigators downplayed this evidence. Considering these complex details, a deeper understanding of Captain Zahari's circumstances begins to emerge, suggesting a multifaceted struggle that goes beyond his public persona. Now, let's delve into today's subscriber pick. In an intriguing twist on the mystery surrounding the disappearance of Flight 370, there's a theory challenging the prevailing belief that the plane crashed and vanished in the Indian Ocean. According to this theory, some argue that the aircraft may not have sunk at all. This notion stems from reports by several relatives of passengers who claim to have heard ringing tones emanating from their loved ones' phones for up to 4 days after the purported crash. Astonishingly, 19 families have shared similar experiences, shedding light on this fascinating phenomenon. One particularly poignant example that garnered attention involved a family member demonstrating on Chinese television that he could still call his deceased brother's phone and it would ring. This emotional demonstration lent credence to the ringtone theory. Telecommunications expert Paul Franks has voiced support for this theory, strongly asserting that if the plane had indeed crashed into the ocean, the phones wouldn't have remained functional and ringing for such an extended period. Franks shared his perspective on Reddit, emphasizing that when a phone is submerged, particularly in seawater, its survival and functionality are highly improbable. Even if by some chance it did survive, it wouldn't receive signals from the ocean's depths, further casting doubt on the alleged crash of the plane. Could the reported ringing tones truly be signals from the missing plane? If the plane didn't crash into the sea, where might it be now? And what other factors could explain the ringing phone phenomenon? With such compelling evidence, one might question whether the initial conclusion about the plane's fate requires re-evaluation. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what you've just seen on the screen. Number 5. Tracing the clues. Hailing from Roanoke, Virginia, Victor Iannello has garnered significant recognition as a prominent member of an independent group. He has immersed himself deeply in simulated flights, focusing particularly on the flight of Malaysian Airlines MH370, a matter seemingly overlooked by Malaysian investigators. What has caught Ianello's attention is the way Zahari, the pilot, manipulated MH370's path on the simulator. Instead of treating it as a continuous flight, Zahari opted to advance the flight in stages, manually adjusting fuel and making leaps until the aircraft mysteriously vanished from the simulation. This unusual behavior has led Ianello to firmly believe that Zahari plays a pivotal role in the chain of events that unfolded. It's worth noting that there were no technical obligations for Zahari to utilize a consumer-grade simulator resembling a Microsoft game for this purpose. This fact has sparked suspicions for Ianello, prompting him to propose a distinctive hypothesis. The simulator flight could have served as Zahari's unconventional way of bidding farewell, akin to leaving behind a trail of breadcrumbs. While the exact motive behind Zahari's actions remains elusive without further insights, Ianello emphasizes that disregarding the simulator flight as mere happenstance would be imprudent. From Ianello's perspective, this unorthodox simulator flight holds significant importance in deciphering the intricate narratives surrounding MH370's mysterious disappearance. Essentially, it offers insight into Zahari's potential state of mind and his role in the series of events that led to this perplexing incident. Number 4. The Digital Dilemma. Respected historian Norman Davis introduces another closely related concept in this regard. He proposes the possibility that the flight could have been remotely hacked and rerouted to a concealed location. According to Davis, cyber experts may have exploited technology intended to prevent a recurrence of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, enabling ground control of aircraft. The specific technology he refers to is the Boeing Honeywell Uninterruptible Autopilot, as outlined in his book, Beneath Another Sky, A Global Journey into History. The existence of this technology raises the possibility of a chilling scenario. Davis suggests that the plane could have been carrying sensitive materials or personnel bound for Beijing, making it a target for not one, but 2 kidnapping attempts. With conclusive answers still elusive, Davis considers it reasonable to speculate on the matter. According to him, the sequence of events might have involved the plane initially being remotely hijacked by a hacker intending to divert it to the US naval base in Diego Garcia, situated in the Indian Ocean. Subsequently, another hacker or remote controller may have intervened to prevent the aircraft from reaching its intended destination. Number 3. The elusive MH370 jungle crash site. In September 2019, amid the search for the missing MH370 aircraft, British video producer Ian Wilson proposed a novel theory. He speculated that the plane might have crashed in a remote jungle, rendering it difficult to locate. Utilizing satellite maps, Ian focused on rainforests in Southeast Asia and stumbled upon an object resembling an aircraft deep in the Cambodian jungle, approximately 60 miles west of Phnom Penh. In this passage, Ian Wilson and his brother Jackie embark on a daring expedition into the Cambodian jungle, spurred by Ian's theory that they had discovered the crash site of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. Despite facing challenges and setbacks, they persist in their quest for answers. Let's rephrase it. The images unveiled a startling sight. The aircraft seemingly nestled against a rugged mountainside, its fuselage at an acute angle, adding to the mystery surrounding the vanished flight MH370. While fragments from the plane had been located in the Indian Ocean, the confirmation of their origin remained scant, casting doubts on the prevailing theory of an oceanic crash. Undeterred by skepticism, Ian, joined by his brother Jackie, resolved to venture into the dense Cambodian jungle to investigate their find firsthand. However, their journey was fraught with obstacles, and their local guides were compelled to abandon the perilous terrain. Nonetheless, Ian and Jackie remained resolute in their conviction regarding the discovery. Noted aviation expert Lieutenant Tim McMillan acknowledged that the object bore resemblance to an aircraft, yet its proportions seemed incongruous with those of a Boeing 777, the model of MH370. Ultimately, subsequent analysis confirmed that the wreckage did not belong to MH370, but rather to a different aircraft altogether. Despite this setback, Ian and Jackie cling to their belief in the authenticity of their discovery, vowing to revisit the site once they secure adequate funding for further exploration. Number 2. Hidden passenger and mysterious cargo. Amid the labyrinthine investigations into the disappearance of Flight MH370, a tantalizing theory emerges: the possibility of an unknown passenger surreptitiously boarding the aircraft. This intriguing conjecture gains traction as investigators pore over the baffling circumstances of the plane's vanishing act. Their scrutiny uncovers an anomalous addition to the flight manifest: a cryptic cargo weighing a hefty 196 pounds, equivalent to 14 stone. Mr. Jaslin, deeply invested with his wife and children aboard the flight, revealed that French investigators disclosed a startling revelation about the cargo in a comprehensive report covering passengers and their belongings. Adding complexity to the puzzle, Mr. Waterloo, who leans towards the theory of deliberate interference, referenced the French newspaper La Parisienne's report of an overloaded container on the flight. However, the reasons behind this puzzling occurrence remain unclear. Delving deeper into the mystery, it emerged that an unaccounted-for load of 89 kilograms was clandestinely added to the flight manifest after takeoff. Intriguingly, the container exceeded its allowable weight limit for reasons yet to be determined. The motives behind these actions, whether due to error or manipulation, remain elusive, leaving a veil of uncertainty over the situation. As investigations progress, Malaysians will inevitably grapple with these perplexing questions. Aviation security expert Tim Termini lends credence to the hijacking theory, emphasizing substantial evidence supporting this possibility. Within this context, 4 potential scenarios come to light. The hijacking might have been orchestrated by a crew member, a passenger, an unusual stowaway, or even through the remote manipulation of the aircraft's electrical systems. However, Philip Baum, a respected figure in aviation security, urges caution, noting the reluctance of officials to consider the possibility of a stowaway. Number 1. Rogue missiles or communication errors. Another theory suggests the plane may have been inadvertently shot down during a joint military exercise between Thailand and the US in the South China Sea, which coincided with the aircraft's disappearance. This theory posits that miscommunication, technical glitches, or human error could have contributed to this tragic event. Former French airline director Marc Dugain claimed to have seen satellite images of unidentified aircraft in the area at the time of MH370's disappearance. Additionally, he reported receiving threats urging him to abandon this theory, hinting at a potential case of mistaken identity. Another hypothesis suggests that MH370 may have been mistakenly targeted by a military force, perceiving it as a hostile or suspicious aircraft. This confusion could have stemmed from the plane deviating from its intended route, experiencing communication loss, or bearing resemblance to another aircraft. Nigel Cawthorne, a British author, even proposed the idea that US TIE fighters might have downed MH370, fearing it was headed towards their military base on Diego Garcia Island in the Indian Ocean. Cawthorne also speculated whether sensitive cargo or personnel aboard attracted undue attention or hostility. More elaborate conspiracy theories have even suggested that MH370's demise was part of a cover-up orchestrated by a state actor for political or strategic reasons. This intricate plan might involve creating a diversion, pinning blame on another nation, or clandestinely acquiring valuable items from the aircraft. Ghislaine Waterloo, a French relative of one of the passengers, alleged that the US Air Force shot down MH370 to confiscate electronic equipment intended for China, and a global cover-up was engineered to hide the truth. However, these theories face numerous challenges and criticisms. Solid evidence and clear motives for a shoot-down are lacking, making it difficult to substantiate these claims. No concrete evidence of any missile or fighter jet near MH370 or any state actor's intention to shoot it down has emerged. The purported satellite images and anonymous threats have not been authenticated by official sources. Furthermore, orchestrating the shooting of a civilian aircraft and then concealing it would require significant coordination and authorization, carrying severe legal repercussions. Sustaining such a vast conspiracy without any leaks or whistleblowers is highly improbable. Consequently, the validity of these theories remains uncertain. Which theory regarding the disappearance of Malaysia Flight MH370 do you find most credible? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.